Got time to go over what still needs to be done?
Alright, go on then.
Looks like we've taken care of the biggest threats to the Berserkers.
And we owe you a debt for that. Thank you.
It means we can deal with our other problems.
Then prepare for the big battle in Maripor. The Skyands will soon mobilize their forces in Maripor. We must prevent them from invading the territories of the Free People.
We're done. What about Dawkins? Can you locate him?
Negative. Dawkins outside sensor range.
Stay alert. We need to find that son of a bitch.
Stand by.
Let's get a summary of the tasks we have ahead of us.
Stand by.
I've taken care of the riots going on in the lands of the Free People. That'll help out the Sixth Power. It's about time we took Dawkins out. The sooner the better. Last but not least, we need to get Cassandra to open the gateway to the main former. That's definitely going to be difficult. So let's keep going. We have a lot to do.
Stand by.
Run system analysis.
Analyzing. Stand by.
It's about time we took... Last but...
Commander, Dawkins detected near Deltara former.
Damn it! We're too late. The Skyands already got him. I don't know what they've got planned for him in Deltara, but whatever it is, it won't be good for us.
Immediate intervention recommended. Risk of compromise 98.6%.
Yeah, you're right. We gotta drag Dawkins out of there before the Skyands squeeze everything out of him.
Acknowledged.
Steady, man.
the old man, he...
Like here. Attila? Saved you? What a load of crap.
No, I'm telling you. He pushed me out of the way and took the 3 beasts single-handed. Didn't even recognize him at first. But if it hadn't been for him...
You wouldn't be able to settle your tab. That'd be a shame. Come on, cough up.
I tell you a riveting arena story, and all you're interested in is shards?
So glad you noticed. Now get lost.
Why do I feel like I'm repeating myself?
Why did you tell Khan you couldn't recommend me?
Look, you only have yourself to blame. You didn't behave like a Morcon should on our little hunting trip. I get why Khan respects you, but I just don't feel the same. Now if you'll excuse me, I got my own...
Finally. I thought I'd never find you.
Jax, you're here. You came to save my life?
Actually, I still don't know what I'm gonna do with you. Should I ram my gun down your throat now or after you explain things?
I see. I take it you've spoken to the Skyands.
Did you really think you'd keep your story secret forever?
No, but I hoped I'd get the chance to explain everything to you before the invaders did.
You've had plenty of chances. If things hadn't turned out this way, you probably would have taken the secret to your grave.
Maybe you're right, but perhaps we should get out of here before...
You're not going anywhere. Not until you tell me everything you've done. To me, to humanity.
Well, seems I don't have much choice. All right, let's talk about it if we must.
When did you find out about the comet heading for Magalan? Was it before or after you started planning to live forever?
The comet wasn't the beginning. I first sighted it 5 years before it crashed here. But even before that, years before, when I was still a young man, I observed a much more significant phenomenon in the sky.
The singularity.
All my research, all the observations, all the calculations, they all told me this was an incredible discovery. It was the answer to all the questions humanity had ever asked, and more. Much more than that. But I didn't have the resources then to fathom its true nature. Then, years later, when the Infinite Skies Corporation was founded, I had my chance. Unlimited resources. Everything I needed. And still, I couldn't really comprehend what I was seeing. It seemed to turn all the laws of physics, all the laws of nature, on their head. The results of my research and the lessons I learned from the Singularity's behavior brought me fame and the recognition of my colleagues. But even when many of them tried to denounce me, I continued my research, though I soon reached the limits of what I could learn.
How did you manage to smuggle all those scientists aboard Cassandra without anyone realizing it?
At first, nobody knew anything about the comet or any spacecraft. Of course, once things were in the open, I was forced to share my research with everyone. Research that might save a lot of lives, maybe all of them. But Cassandra was to be my project. I kept it secret to make sure it didn't suffer the same fate as Callahan. All people did was argue, blaming mistakes on each other. I couldn't allow that to happen with Cassandra. So
you got rid of anyone who could have talked about it, right?
it was a dark time. Not one I'm proud of.
Your scientists, or whatever they are now, spoke of the Singularity as if it were a god.
Isn't it? It contains secrets that no one, not even I, could ever discover. Not in 1,000 lifetimes of research. It gives eternal life. It creates new life forms from nothing. It decides whether we all live or die.
Principal Tayak says it's moving towards us. It could hit us at any moment. And from what you're telling me, this is nothing like a simple comet. This will destroy us all.
So what is it, if not pure divinity?
Stop fucking with me! How do we stop it, genius?
The Skyands have been set on their path from the very beginning. It's this plan that drives them. It's their reason for being. The reason anyone who gets in its way is destroyed.
Oh yeah? So what is this plan?
All in good time, Jax. We need to survive this war before we can move on to the next one.
What about the DNA replication? Why did you share your genes with me?
I've been trying to prepare the planet for the arrival of the Skyands for years. That's what the Albs and their directive were for. And for a while it was working. But once the Albs set up the first converter in the lands of the Free People, the tide turned. The hybrid, that thing I was a part of once, sensed resistance among the Albs. There were a lot of skeptics and even saboteurs, especially among the technicians. The foundation of a hostile group, the Separatists, became inevitable. But there you were, a highly effective and confident commander. Even then, your willpower was a thing to behold. I replicated my own DNA with that of the Alb with the greatest mental strength I could find to protect myself and my legacy. It was a backup, if you will. Being in the hybrid capsule prevented me from doing anything as mundane as procreating.
That explains your interest in my son. But you won't be going near him again. I'll make sure of that.
After the replication, your willpower became even stronger. You were the only one who could resist being promoted to Alexander. Even implanting a control chip in your head had little effect. That's one reason I chose you to establish and lead the Sixth Power. If anyone can stop the Skyands, it's you.
How did you create ELEX?
I didn't. It was there all along, in the Singularity itself. ELEX is a part of it. It just needed to be modified and adapted to humans. I was getting old then, increasingly aware of my mortality. I realized I would never reap the rewards of my work if I didn't...
Find a way to live forever.
Yes. Even there, the Singularity helped me set the wheels in motion. But I couldn't do it down here on Magalan. I had to go up, to the Singularity itself. It was the only place with the right conditions. But the journey would have taken far too long. I needed a faster way. A technology you've seen for yourself. It's been a feature of the skies for years, ever since the war against the Albs.
You mean the strange ring the hybrid created?
Correct. An artificial wormhole. A bridge from this world to another. I sent a group of scientists through it. They came back more than 160 years later as highly developed, immortal beings.
Why didn't you go yourself? Why leave it to others?
Because of the comet. This rock, this tremendous destructive force on a collision course with our world. I was afraid if I went with them, we'd return to a planet reduced to rubble and dust.
And that's exactly what happened. You didn't stop it. Whether you were here or on the other side of the galaxy.
It wasn't a question of whether it would hit Magalan. The question was whether humanity would survive.
You could have saved the planet. You could have changed the comet's course with your spacecraft.
I tried. I was the one who started projects like Cassandra and Callahan. But when panic breaks out, well, few people are willing to pull together for a common cause.
How did the first ELEX get into the comet?
My Cassandra scientists had to hurry once they reached the singularity. They quickly had their first success. They sent Blue ELEX back to us on a carrier rocket. But soon after launch, it became clear it would never reach Magalan. A fatal miscalculation they could do nothing to correct. But the rocket could reach the comet that was fast approaching the planet. So they steered it onto its path, and soon, the ELEX was here, and my work could begin.
Your work to prolong your miserable life at the expense of millions of other lives.
Yes, a tragedy, I admit.
Where does this great willpower come from? What did you do to me that even the Skyands don't understand?
The gifts to exercise great power over ELEX are rooted in the configuration and harmonies of an individual's DNA. And willpower is one of these gifts. There are others, such as superhuman creativity or imagination, or superhuman strategic and mathematical problem-solving. You and I are not just the humanoid anomalies the Skyands would have us believe. We are ELEX elementals, my friend. Our gifts give us the power to shape both ourselves and the fate of the world.
Why the sixth power? Why so much effort?
Because the Skyands want to level the planet, and I no longer have the power to stop them. I'm not one of them anymore. I'm their enemy.
Who can blame them for wanting you dead? All these elaborate schemes, all that effort, for such a long time.
Well, that's the price of eternal life, and I'm paying it now.
And so is everyone else, you bastard. You're nothing but a murderer.
Maybe, but the Skyands are far worse. Just think of the sheer scale of what they're doing.
What about what we did in those converters? Squeezing the ELEX out of people.
What is it you want, Jax? Justice? World peace? What's that compared to standing before God and being granted eternal life?
You've done nothing but lie and manipulate me. Well, I'm done. The super soldier you bred to serve you quits right here and now.
There's no need for us to be at odds, Jax.
Of course there is. It's the only way I'll ever be free.
Fine, if that's the way you want it. Just don't expect me to give up without a fight. If I win, I promise to honor your legacy. Your work will not have been in vain.
Enough talking. Let's end this now.
As you wish.
Critical risk. Recommended immediate evasion.
Wow. Damn it. That son of a bitch. Doesn't matter. I need to keep going. Otherwise, there'll be nothing left to fight for. Ugh. I outpace myself.
Probability of ambush high. Recommend reinforcements be requested.